Hey guys, welcome back to a new episode. I'm here with Aoife Melia. So basically, I'm going to let Aoife Melia do a little introduction of herself and then we'll just get into the podcast. So.
Oh god, okay, hi. I am a kart racer from Athenry in Galway and I've been racing since I was 6. I got my first kart when I was 6 years old for my 6th birthday, and then I started competing in the national championship when I was 8. And then once I turned 9, I had a really big accident, so I had to stop racing altogether for a good few years. But then once I turned 14, I had my confirmation money already saved up, and then I bought another kart, and then from there I've just been racing ever since, nearly every weekend since then.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then in 2017 I got signed for an electric kart championship, so I've been racing their prototypes for the last year now, and then only recently I tested over in Italy and I became like the fastest driver to drive an electric kart.
Oh wow.
That's really it. That's kind of my life.
Yeah. So you said you got your first kart at with 6,
yeah.
And how did they come about? Like no 6-year-old just wouldn't go buy a go-kart, you know, so how did that come about?
I know, it sounds really odd, but my father raced single-seaters, Formula V and Formula Ford, and then he rallied for a few years, and then my older brother and my sister were racing at the time, so it was kind of bred into me that I had to do it. I had no choice.
And are your brothers and sisters still going at it, or?
No, my brother is quite old now. Kind of once you get to like the 20 age, you're kind of too old to really get competitive in it. So you kind of have to start young. And he kind of started at like 12, so he was already out the gap at this stage. So I couldn't really. He couldn't really keep going. And then my older sister, when I had the accident at that time, she completely stopped because she was too afraid to do it.
And how did what happened to the accident? Like what were you racing, or what was it?
I was just karting. I had a race in Cork and someone just hit me from behind and I went like 10 foot up in the air and I landed on my head. So, but like in fairness, I only broke my hand, but it could have been a lot worse and it really scared my family, so they just stopped me.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. And how long then did you take you to get back into karting then after that?
Well, I was always around the racetrack because my cousins were racing as well, so I was kind of mechanicking for them, and then just kind of visiting with my dad. Like if it was a Sunday, I'd just go to a racetrack and I'd show up, and then the race weekends off I'd just watch Formula 1. So motorsport was always there, and I was always part of something, but I came back strong when I was 14. Yeah, that was it. So 9 to 14, how many years is that? It's like 5 years.
5 years, yeah. So you never really left it, as in you took the break, but you never really left the world.
Oh no, I was still kind of known there. Everyone knew me from the crash anyway, so at least I had that name going for me. But I was my dad really just kept me in the circle, so I had all my friends there, so at least it wasn't hard coming back.
And did he race at all, or? Yeah,
he raced Formula V's, which were pretty big back maybe 30 years ago. A driver called Ayrton Senna used to race them, and he used to be a really big Formula 1 driver. My dad raced with him in Mondello, and he raced up until maybe I was 8 or 9 when the boom was around. But you know, when everyone started losing money, motorsport really went downhill. Everyone kind of ran out of money, so did we.
So then you came back at 14, and then when did you fully start taking off? When did you start getting on the international circuit? When did you start making kind of ground in Ireland and stuff? I was kind of I tried to get in through club rounds of 14 and 15, and then I kind of won like not all, but majority of races that I could win, all around Ireland in club rounds. So then I was like, there's no point in me keep doing the same races, so I just moved to the national circuits, and I was doing all the national rounds in Motorsport Ireland for 3 years. Yeah, 3 years. And then I moved into a senior kart, which meant it was quite difficult. I was against men who were married with kids, and they've been racing like all the time, so like I had to really step up my game. I didn't do as well, and I'm pretty open with it, but people did know that I did really well in juniors, so like the sponsors from the electric kart team were just like, they knew who I was, so they just saw me and were like,
we want her.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And how did they would find you? Like what was that sort of process, or do you even know how they found you? Or
I'm not sure how they found me, but my manager rang my dad one day and was just like, can you be in Spain on the 12th of April or something like that? And my dad was like, alright. My dad didn't really ask many questions, and he was like, okay, and then we just showed up in Spain, and then we were testing electric carts, and that was really it. Yeah.
Was it April this year, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, and then you went to Italy then afterwards, didn't you? Then to actually go around, you tested again?
Yeah, I had to test again because the first time we tested in Barcelona, it was raining, and it being an electric cart, rain and electrics don't exactly work.
Yeah.
The cart was doing pretty well, but they did see a few flaws in it, so they had to take out another prototype in Italy. So we were testing that in Italy, and we had to test wet and dry weather, so that was the only place we could test.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're still with them now, so what do you do, races on behalf of them, or how does that work? Or?
So it's a championship that's run by a Tesla run company. So Tesla are going to try and do a championship kind of in the same lines of Formula E and Formula 1, as they have their own championships. They're going to try and have a Tesla championship, but what they're trying to do is get the karters to have a championship themselves, and then the winners go on to this Tesla championship. So it's like we're breeding like karters into this new championship, which is quite good. Instead of Formula 1, you kind of have to buy your way in there. Not that many Formula 1 drivers have won much, they just had the money to afford it. So
yeah.
And then they just called me, and they were just like, we want you in this Tesla championship. Now I thought I was racing Teslas, but no, I showed up and it was just an electric cart, and I was like, oh, that's fine, that's okay. But Tesla would be okay, I wouldn't mind one.
Yeah. Just running out there to Elon Musk. And so then, and when's that championship starting, or was that the first round, or what was the story of that?
So we're supposed to have the championship in November, but due to Tesla kind of decreasing their shares and stuff like that, they have lost a bit of money, but because of that, it just meant that the championship couldn't start. But they're trying to get the ball rolling eventually. Money will come eventually with sponsors, because we are sponsored by Pirelli, which sponsor Formula 1, and they're pretty good sponsors. So like they can fund us if we just fund the rest of it. So,
yeah. Is that after Elon Musk being on the Joe Rogan podcast and smoking weed and the shot here? Yeah.
Something like that. I'm not sure, but apparently that was a factor.
Yeah. Good podcast. And yeah. Anyway, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, so I actually did listen to that. That went very viral. Like
in minutes, literally, the whole world had heard it.
Like as in like, oh no, something that's legal over there. He smoked with weed, literally took one pull of a joint, and something that's legal in California, and then the whole world falls apart because he should not be doing that. Like, just, it was such an over exaggeration, but yeah. I know. Anyway, that happened. So is it possible that next year then, once share prices go back up again, Tesla a bit more playing around money, that they'll end up running the championship? They wanted to start it in November, but I really think before July they could have a championship round done. Okay. With the looks of things, with the amount of testing we're doing and the feedback they're getting from us that do test it, they're on the ball, like they're ready to go. They just need money to come in. Yeah. And would this be male and female championship, or like would you be separate or racing together, or how does that work?
So all motorsport is mixed.
Okay.
Now the first championship there ever was to be the only female is the Formula W. That only came out recently in the last 4 months, I think. But before that, it's always been mixed, and I think it always will be. Bar this Formula W, I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Yeah. And do you prefer the mix, or would you prefer separate, or what's your opinion on the whole thing?
Well, I've always been the only girl in my class, in my racing class, so I really had no choice, and to be honest, I don't see any difference. I'm still able to beat the boys, so I don't really care. It's the boys should have a problem with it. But I don't. Yeah.
And is there many female karters in Ireland, or is you're saying you're mostly by yourself with lads, so is there many girls karting in Ireland, or?
There's 2 in a junior class. There's me and another girl, Natasha, in a senior class, and there could be maybe 1 in a like a junior class. So there's only a handful of us. So we're quite a tight community, but we're all kind of like, we're all fending for ourselves. We're all like, we're here to beat the boys. Like, but we're not gonna like, you know, use this whole women are better. We're just trying to compete just as equals.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Because I imagine, because out of any sport, there shouldn't, like, as in you should be able to compete just as well as the lads, because you know, because it's a motor sport. And then on the global scene, what would that look like? As in, like, you were saying you were racing internationally, so like, were you racing on behalf of Ireland, or are you racing by yourself, or how does that work?
No, see, I'm doing it for the electric cart, so I'm running for Irish people, but I'm basically just doing it for the electric carts. It's for myself. Like, I am winning for myself. I wouldn't, like, you know, give anyone else the credit because I'm doing it. I am carrying the Irish flag, but that's it.
And is there many Irish on the international scene, like, or would you be kind of standalone, or how?
There's a good few, but a lot of Irish people just go to England, and if you do well in England, you're usually on top of it, because English races are all on TV now. So you have Formula Ford, Formula 4. And all your GP3 races, they're all they're all either online or they're on ITV or something like that. But Irish is not, like, none of their races are like put online or anything like that. So like once you're seen on TV, it just means you're kind of famous.
I should say TV. That's pretty good. And then so you're over in Bristol, isn't it? Studying Birmingham. And what are you studying?
I'm studying to be a race mechanic. Okay. So it's an apprenticeship basically, but we're learning the tricks of the trade right now. So we're doing that until February, and then I go off and do race mechanics wherever I want. But like, I had choices to stay in Ireland. Like, I got my first choice in CEO, and I got decent enough points for the little amount of study I did. But I was pretty happy with what I got, but I ended up just going there because that's what I wanted to do.
And how long is your course, or how long does it last?
It can last for up to a year to 3 years. It doesn't really matter. You could do whatever you want as long as your coursework is done. And because I was in motorsport for so long, it's really easy to me. Like, so I've done all my coursework that's supposed to take me 3 years. So like, I've done that, and a few of us have done the same. So we're all kind of just ready to go out and work now. And just go straight to the racetrack.
And are you hoping? So you're doing mechanics.
Yeah.
But are you hoping to just go full time? Like, is the plan to go full time in racing, or to be a mechanic, or what? Like, what? Basically,
like, the electric kart team were kind of like, when they heard me testing and stuff, they were kind of like, you're a good driver or whatever, but we need you to be able to give us feedback. And I didn't know how to give feedback like back, because I was just like, oh no, it's a good race, that's really it. But I couldn't be like, I couldn't be like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with the kart, because I don't know that stuff about it. But then I went to this open day over in England, and I was just there like, oh, this is actually interesting. So then I got to learn more about cars and karts and stuff, and that just made me like more interested that I should either be like a test driver where I can give back feedback, or be a race mechanic. But I'm not really picky. I love them both. So
you just enjoy being in that industry. You just
like all my friends are there, so it's the only way.
And then and because you're with the eKarting team, can you drive normal karts as well, or are you exclusively signed with them, or how does?
Oh no, I can drive whatever I want. No, I can do as many championships as I want to, but right now I want to focus on electric karts because it is going to be the future eventually. Like, it might take 5 years, but it's getting in there. Petrol karts will just slowly die, like fuel cars. They're going away. So we're kind of moving into the future now. So yeah, that's me.
And you're the first female signed with eKarting.
Yeah.
And is there many other females signed now, or?
Now there is. I think there's 2 girls now. And there's me, and then there's Charlie. She's doing the cars, but there's just maybe 4 of us. So.
Okay. Yeah. And is this like? Could you, like, where have you raced? Like, as in, like, where would be like the most exotic place you've ever raced in, or?
Well, I haven't like went crazy. Like I haven't been overboard, but I have been to Adria and I've been to Barcelona, and like those places are like in the karting world. They're your two like main places. So Barcelona, no, it's not really Barcelona. It's Alcanis, and for motorsport people, Alcanis is like it's the center of motorsport in Spain. So in Alcanis they used to have the rally going around this really small tight town, and when they crashed they went straight into buildings and a lot of people died. But yeah, no, Alcanis is pretty big for motorsport, and Adria is, I think it's part owned by Michael Schumacher. I'm not completely sure, but it's Adria will be one of the bigger places in Italy. Karting is pretty popular in Italy, but Adria has been the most invested in, so they're my two favorite.
And is like was Formula One? I know that like that's the most famous one, and like I wouldn't really know much about the other ones. I wouldn't know much about Formula One either. But like, is that still kind of like the dream for a lot of people, like starting in karting, is that they want to end up in Formula One, or maybe is that moving now because of the eKarting coming up and you're seeing Formula W and all that? Like, is that still kind of the aim for everyone, or like when, let's say, younger ones coming up in the ranks, you hear them talking? Yeah,
no, it is kind of like that. Like when I was 8, my dream was to be a Formula One driver, and then I slowly realised with the funding, never. That could never happen. But no, see, in Ireland, and to be Irish, you'd have to be as lucky as winning the lottery twice, and then to also be a female, you may as well triple that chances also. So I would love to be there, but I'm being realistic in the fact that I probably will never get there. So for Irish people, we don't really aim for Formula One. Now, when you're like 8 or 9, yes, that's your aim. But once you kind of get the facts straight, you're kind of like, okay, Formula E would probably more realistic, or Formula Ford, or then I don't know, if you go into GT races and race tin tops for the rest of your life, you could just race Porsches in the Carrera Cup, or you could do Le Mans. Doesn't really matter.
And you were saying it's like really expensive to try and get to like Formula One, and like there's so much money. Like, do you know roughly like how much, like if you wanted to reach the top, how much like? Oh,
like millions. Like
really?
I mean, like you need to have 20 million up front in cash with no installments, like ready to hand over. Even to be in one of the like the lesser off teams, like maybe Force India or Williams or something like that. To start off, that's what you're starting off with.
That's your own money, or is that you bring sponsors along?
So for teams in Formula One, your biggest sponsor is the driver itself. It's not the sponsors at all. Like usually, I don't know, with Red Bull, their main sponsor is Red Bull, but Max Verstappen is bringing in majority of that money for Red Bull.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because I know I've talked with people, saying Brandon Karter earlier, but he was saying like it's just like stupid amount of money to try and get into it. Like it's so out of the realm of possibility for so many people. Like,
completely, yeah.
That like people don't have, like I said, 20 million up front just to be chucking at.
Yeah, why would you even kind of bother? But the majority of the drivers right now in Formula One, their fathers raced in Formula One, so they made the money, and now they're just passing it on. So you can understand that. And then there's Lance Stroll, who's probably one of the richest people in the world, so I can understand why he's racing there. But other than that, I'd never get there.
And then what's, okay, let's say then for the local scene, so buying in to get into go-karting, let's say just locally, let's say someone, a young person listening to this and want to get into go-karting, what would be involved? What do you have to go do?
Well, you could just go to your like local track days. Now there's not many in this side of the country anymore. There was, but after maybe years of just like bad weather and stuff like that, it just hasn't really worked out. But majority of the races are kind of over east, so you're over like Meath and Dublin, and then there's a track down south in Cork. So if you make your way to those tracks during a race weekend, like a Motorsport Ireland race weekend, you'd kind of get a sense for it, and there's always someone selling something. Whether it be online, now you can look up Motorsport Ireland karting, and a lot of numbers will be left there, so you can find out where you can start off, but your best bet is to go to a track.
Because like it wouldn't be the most popular thing. Like I wouldn't have really heard many people. Like I know a lot of people like involved in the motor industry, but like with regards rallying's a fairly big thing in Ireland.
Yeah,
a lot bigger than go-karting.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have really, like my uncle used to was somebody stupid. What's the person who sits at the passenger seat? You know, like
the navigator.
Navigator, yeah, he did that for years. But then downturn happened, and then there wasn't the money there anymore, so he didn't. I don't think he does it anymore. But like it seemed like I know I was talking to him, and he was saying it's a very small group of people, especially in Ireland. Like everyone in the circle like knows each other.
Yeah, that's the best part of it.
Yeah,
yeah, we're all like friends. Even the karters, we'd be friends with the rally drivers because majority of the rally drivers started in karting.
Okay.
Or we've either raced single seaters before or something like that. But we've all crossed paths. We've all either bought something off one another, or it's just the way it is. Ireland's just so small, and because entries aren't that big anymore, we're all just best friends.
Yeah. and other than karting, then do you have any other hobbies, or is that kind of your whole kind of world?
Well, like it has always been my whole world, but because it's kind of you have to be very fit for it.
Okay.
It's very physical, so like I took swimming very competitive. Well, I took it very competitively because I need to win everything. I'm just the way I am.
Yeah.
But I ended up like just loving swimming, and it just helped my shoulders because you're turning a steering wheel, so that helped. And then I ended up being a lifeguard, so that also took over my life too. But other than that, I watched Netflix all day, and I like cuddle my dog majority of the day. So I have no other hobbies other than that.
Yeah. And so for your fitness, are you exclusively swimming, or do you do any gym work, or what?
Yeah, no, I used to. Well, season's over now, so
yeah.
You don't really take it seriously. But especially because it's Christmas, and you know there's so much sweets to eat. But
of course, yeah.
Like besides that, yeah, swimming would be the best because it's cardio and it keeps you fit. But I also used to do the rower. You have to do weights, like crazy weights, because it's a lot of G-force. You kind of would have to like kind of train your neck, as in like hold up something and have an elastic band.
Yeah.
Nothing major. You basically just had to be very fit because your reactions, you needed to have really quick reactions.
Yeah.
So that's cardio was my big thing, even though it's horrible, but you have to do it.
Yeah, no, swimming, I never did it. Like I did a triathlon in June. My friend literally texted me 2 months before and I went, "Go to triathlon." I was like, I was
absolutely not.
I was fit, but I was not in triathlon shape, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's just do it." Right? But I was doing the French language course 3 weeks before, for the 3 weeks literally before that. So like all I was doing, I was in St Mary's, living in St Mary's, running 5k laps every day, just over and over again. Yeah. But then when I got to the swim, me and my friend went and did it. But he's a lifeguard as well.
Oh, okay.
So like he like literally, I think it was like 300 or 400 meter swim. And he did like 10 minutes, and he cleaned it like, and like took me like 20 minutes. Like, I was like, he just absolutely destroyed me. But I didn't know what. But then I spent the whole rest of the race just trying to catch him. So I was like, literally, my parents were like along the way, so they were like, "Where's Josh? Where's Josh?" And I ended up at the very end of the day, I called him like 12. I got like 12 seconds ahead of him. But like that was the whole thing. But
just to beat him, I guess.
Yeah, literally, I'm very highly competitive. No
story of my life.
Yeah. Like even though we're best friends, I still wanted to destroy him.
Yeah, no, I get you. I completely get you.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then with the neck thing, that's become more and more popular because I know I do jiu-jitsu, right? So neck, people get a lot of slip discs and stuff on their backs because their necks aren't straight. Because no one, like people for years.
You don't think about it when you're warming up. Like when you're warming up your neck, you don't actually warm it up. You're just going like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like they don't even strengthen or anything because like especially like you were saying for the G-forces and for jiu-jitsu as well. Like as in you're being put a lot of pressure on people's weight on your neck and like. It's not the strongest thing in the world. No one strengthens it. So, what sort of you special piece of equipment did you use to strengthen your neck?
Well, you're kind of on like the bench, and you like basically hold your head over the bench, and then this elastic band is holding the disc. What's the disc with the weight? What's that called again?
Your plate, like
yeah, just a plate.
Yeah.
You'd have like maybe 10 kg on that, and you just hold it and you go up and down like that.
Okay.
Now it sounds pretty basic, but it's the only kind of thing that would strengthen you, other than maybe someone pulling at you. If you have the elastic band, that's how I would usually get ready for a race. I just get someone to hold the elastic band and pull it, and I'd have to pull against it. But there's nothing really to train your neck.
Yeah. Have you noticed a difference? Like, would you have any negative effects from the G-forces over the years, or like? You know, other than obviously your accident when you landed on your head, but would you have noticed any differences? You started doing any neck training, or did it make?
Well, I did notice that like I either had a very visible double chin, or just the fact that like women shouldn't have thick necks, but Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Like I end up having like a really thick masculine neck, but I don't. Yeah, but it's fine. I'm okay with it.
It's part of the cost of entry, I suppose.
Exactly. At least I have enough hair to cover it, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, we don't have the same blessing. And then you're saying you're into Netflix. So what's
everything. I have literally watched everything. Well, see, my college course is only 2.5 days a week. So, you know, and because I don't really come home that often and I just spend weekends out there watching Netflix. So, yeah I've watched everything. I've watched Riverdale twice. Oh my god, House of Cards, How to Get Away with Murdered, everything I've watched, because if anyone ever asks me to watch a movie with them, I can't. They actually don't even ask me anymore because I've watched everything. Because I'm like, no, I can't watch it. Sorry, watched it already.
Watching the new season of House of Cards.
Oh, it's so good. I really love it.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
But did you see Kevin Spacey's new video he put out? He released it lately on his YouTube channel. Did you see it?
No.
It was him and Karter. Here, I have no. Yeah, I'll pull it up. I'll play it for you. It's like a 3-minute video, but like I can put it up on the screen for them there. But it's really weird. Like, as in, basically, he's kind of in character, but he's kind of also referring to the rape trial as well. It was after he got convicted.
Oh shit.
So
oh sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think. And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't.
What? That's
So we're not
weird.
no matter what anyone says. And besides, I know what you want. You want me back. Of course, some believed
That's so
everything.
creepy.
yeah, like that goes on for
How did he like keep a straight face? I would like died.
That was literally posted the day that he got convicted. So like he released this and then that went on trending. Like that went absolutely crazy because people were like, "What the fuck?" You know. And like he goes towards the end, he goes, "Oh, I wasn't never dead," and all this, you know, because you know the way they show his funeral at the end of House of Cards. Like I really enjoyed the series, but after when that came out, we were like, "Oh fuck yeah."
No, I've watched White Gold on Netflix.
No.
It's really good. But your man that plays Chuck Bass in Gossip Girl, I'm trying to think of his name. But anyway, yeah, he does White Gold, and I was like, why isn't there a second series? Like, it's really, really good. But apparently, he also got convicted for rape as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't tell everyone I love the show because it's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, but like it's a good show, but but apparently in Hollywood for years, like it was always kind of the underlying thing is like you kind of knew there was something going on there, but like it was kind of something no one ever talked about. But now with the whole Me Too movement and everything, it's all coming out. But
yeah, it's nearly a witch hunt at this stage, but it's not my opinion. I don't.
Well, like I don't know, like sometimes someone's name might get associated, and then everyone goes after them before maybe they go through the full justice system. It's like obviously everyone has the right to go through it, but like a lot of them, like Kevin was like, I swear I don't remember that night and stuff like that, you know. Like I don't know, it's all very twisted and everything. Do you ever watch I'm really hot in Black Mirror at the moment? Did you?
I can't do it. I can't watch Black Mirror. No, it freaks me out. I literally I actually don't understand, but like I was watching someone I can't remember, and I remember I watched one episode and I had to just walk out of the room.
Did you watch the first one?
I think it could either been the first one or maybe
the Prime
the
Minister
third
of the Pig.
I have no idea. I remember just literally wanting to leave the room crying. It was that bad. I was like, this is so weird.
yeah. Like I know the first episode's very, very graphic, and like you watch and you go, what the fuck did I just watch? And then like maybe the twisted of everyone goes on a second episode, but like they're all like different. Like they're all kind of the same universe, but they're all completely different plot lines.
Yeah, that's what my friend said. Yeah, they're like, it's not really easy to follow, but it's good to watch if like you're kind of bored. So,
no, it is.
No, I don't think I won't go back to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do not recommend to a friend.
But the thing is, what I would, they've actually released a Black Mirror movie a couple of days ago.
Bye.
No. But the really cool thing about this is you choose the character does. There's 5 different endings.
Someone said that.
It's phenomenal. Like I watched.
You have to choose. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 5 different endings. So I think what this is about 5. Overall there's about 5 hours of footage. Depending on what one you down, it's an hour and a half really of a movie. But like literally, it starts off. I'm not gonna give any spoilers on it, but like basically it starts off with very easy decisions, and then as it goes on, to get more and more like dark and decisions you end up making and stuff. Like it's
bye.
Well, like it's actually the plot line's not too bad. Like I suppose I've only seen one ending, and I've kind of watched videos on YouTube and people have like had different endings and stuff. But yeah, it's really I know I really enjoyed the whole getting to pick what the character does.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was kind of cool, but like Netflix said because of such success they might end up maybe going and try and do something else, do a movie like that where you get
choosing.
to choose.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, it's very very weird. But yeah. You didn't enjoy Black Mirror at all?
Absolutely not. No.
Was there anything else you're on Netflix you're watching at the moment?
There was something I was only watching. Oh, You. It only came in like the last like 4 days or whatever, but I loved Gossip Girl. Like I was obsessed. But there was a guy in it called Dan Humphrey.
Okay.
I don't know his actual real name, but I know the real Gossip Girl. It's a real name, okay? But yeah, Dan Humphrey is in this TV show called You, where he's kind of stalking this girl. And he's so obsessed with her, and she ends up falling in love with him, and then he becomes a psychopath. It's really good. Definitely watch it. Seriously, it's so good. I told all my friends to watch it, and now they're all watching it, and they're like, "Thank you." So I'm just saying, watch it, and then say thank you.
So you can all go text Amelia and thanks her after you've enjoyed watching it. But yeah, no, I one with me, I have a very addictive personality. Whether it be like finding a new thing and going like as in YouTube, I go hell for that, leather than that, or find a new sport I like and I go hell for leather than that. But I have to really control myself on Netflix because like if I start a series, like, you won't see me for 48 hours.
I feel you. I completely feel you. Like over the Christmas, I ended up staying in my bed for 3 days, and I had a full variety box of potatoes, and I didn't move from my bed.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad my life is right now. I'm like, because it's the days between Christmas and New Year's where you don't know what you're gonna do with yourself, so you're just like, what day is it? Who am I? Kind of like. So you end up like having to watch Netflix, and I just ate too much, basically.
Yeah, that's the whole point of Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, because like I know if I go anywhere near it, I just end up like just even if it's not even that good, I like if I want to start, I have to watch it. Have to get the full experience of it. But I know the over thing on the back of my head is the Christmas work we left for Leaving Cert, which I haven't touched yet.
Oh, sorry. Last year, oh my god, don't even start me. Leaving Cert, yeah. It doesn't matter until the last month. That's all I'm saying. Other than that, don't even bother looking at it, because you're just going to forget it. Because that's what happened to me. And then I had to like revise what I revised last year. So yeah, just don't.
Yeah.
No.
And but did you know when you were in Leaving Cert last year? Did you know you were going to be going over to England? Like, so you still thought like, oh, I need to get the points for my course.
Yeah, I was like, the last 2 months of Leaving Cert, I was like, I am utterly screwed. Like I ended up like, I signed up for all community colleges in the country. I was like, anything. So because I was so afraid I'd fail like either English, maths, or Irish, even though I'm pretty good at them. But I was like, in all, if I'm just unlucky, and I usually am, I was like covering all boxes. I was like, I'll do it. But anyway, I was doing my Leaving Cert, and then the college rang, and then they're like, oh, we need you to come for an interview in 3 days time, which was it was the day before my German Leaving Cert exam. So that obviously didn't sort me out for German. I'm just saying I got the worst result in German, like H8, like didn't count it, but there's a reason for it. I have a good excuse for it. So at least I'm in college now.
Yeah. So because I didn't know, because of the fact you're over in England, whether you had been planning doing that. You kind of.
I really had because I was doing my Leaving Cert, and then I was testing over in Barcelona when I was doing my orals, and then I missed my real oral, and then the school rescheduled it for me the following week, which was pretty nice of them. I was happy enough to miss it. I was like 40%, to be honest. I'm gonna fail anyway, so it really doesn't matter to me. But like no, German, just like languages, not good at it. So I really wasn't pushed. I wasn't gonna count it, so I was like, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I just about like chose to go to England. I was really like, I really pushed myself. Well, I didn't really push myself, but like, you know, like I did go to after school study, and to me that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I did my homework, which also is a lot to me. So I put a lot of like, I tried at least,
Yeah.
but I just didn't take the entire like CAO choice. No, my first choice was DIT for mechanical engineering because I love Dublin, and I knew I wasn't going to get into DCU. Well, I was probably could have if I really tried, but it couldn't be yours. So that was my first choice, and I got it. And then I was like, oh, will I go to England? Will I not? And then I was like, Christ, if it's only a 1 year course, which I thought it was, well, it can be whenever you want, but I was like, if I only go there for a year, can I just defer my year for DIT? And I told DIT, and they're like, defer it for as many years as you want. You do whatever you want. If you got the points, you leave and start. That's fine. So I have my choice to go back to DIT whenever I really want to. I just have to decide when to go back. And now I could go back next year. I'm just not sure right now.
Yeah.
I just have to kind of see how my life goes.
And did you do all high level subjects, or did you do any pass subjects?
I did pass maths.
Yeah.
Because I could not be arsed. I'm pretty good at maths. Like maths was pretty good for me, but I really wanted to do well in English. Like I got an A in the junior cert, so I was like, and I think I got like a C in maths in the junior cert. But I have good enough excuses for the reason for my results. I'm just saying. But I was like, oh, I'd probably get well. I'd probably do better in English than I would in maths. Even though I would have got 25 extra points, but I was like, fuck it, no.
Yeah, no, I did the same. As in, I was doing all 7 high level, and then I was like, English was never my strong point. Maths was always kind of stronger for me, so I was like, why am I still doing higher level?
Yeah.
We got different teachers this year. We had a very good teacher last year. We got different teachers this year. I was like, I have no hope. So I was like, so I dropped down, and I'm literally just like totally now just neglecting English, not doing a tap for it, and like, but actually, my high level teacher told my past teacher, because my high level teacher didn't want me to move down, and she was like, don't move down, like you can get a good grade, but like I'm not going to be working, I'm going to fail it if I don't. Like, and
it's like a lot of work. There's a lot of quotes you kind of have to learn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like
I put the work in. I was like, I'm hopeless in this.
Unless like, see what I did. Sorry for interrupting you, but like I'm pretty good at odds. Like I'm pretty good at like writing out all the chances of coming, like some stuff coming up.
Yeah.
And I realized that last year I was like, there has to be a woman, and there was only 2 women on the course. And then one had came up the last year before, and they never repeat a woman. So I was like, I'm going to learn this woman. So I learned Elaine Quillan, and who came up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I literally like tears come down my face because they didn't mix up. They purposely put part of paper 2 on paper 1 last year, and that really turned people. That was like, oh Jesus. A lot of people like I was looking around and people were like, but I really focused on paper 2. So yeah, I just did really well in paper 2 and really didn't care for paper 1.
Yeah.
Well, for paper 1 you have to do an essay.
Yeah.
And that just absolute bull completely.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And when I rechecked my papers, I did really, really well in my bull essay. I was like, this is pretty good for me. I never actually bullshitted this much. I was like, but I did well. So I was like, for the paper I didn't put any work in. I kind of did better than my paper 2. So I was like, I was happy.
Yeah, but like I don't agree with the whole. They've actually added 2 days on leaving this year. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Because some people were having 3 exams in one day, and
yeah.
the Irish. I know one of the guys in the Irish Second Schools Union, and they like went to the Minister for Education. They were like, "This is crazy. Like you can't expect students to perform at 100%
exactly
in 3 exams in one day."
Yeah.
So they actually got 2 days added on to leaving this year. So I think majority only have max 2 in one day. Which is still, I don't know, 2 in one day is still probably like
it's still a lot.
Yeah.
I like, oh my god, even sir, that whole month was the most exhausting month of my life. Because see, in my school we did grad maybe the week before, and that killed me out until like the following Tuesday. Like I was flat. I wasn't getting up out of bed, and then like you're supposed to really study that weekend. No, couldn't. All of us. I remember I was in a group chat, and they're all like, how are you doing today? Is anyone study? Absolutely not. No, can't even get up out of bed. Where's my foot? Like, that's how bad we were.
Yeah.
Because grad is like the only time you're going to either see them before the debs. So we all went absolutely crazy. And that's the way it kind of was. And majority of schools are like that as well. They all go out before the leaving cert, which is the worst idea ever. I completely don't do it. Don't do it. Even if you want to, don't do it. But yeah, no, like I remember English tired me out. I was like, oh, holy Jesus.
Yeah.
I thought the day was never going to end, and then at least I think I had Irish the Friday, and then I had the second paper on the Monday. So at least I had the whole weekend to go over my essay, so I was fine. I think wasn't the essay paper 2 in Irish?
Yeah, I think
I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I do remember being like, if I had 2 papers, one was going out the window before I even walked into the exam, because I was like, I'm going to focus on one. And then if you just pass the other, at least you get a B. Like you're going to get a H3 if you just work on one paper and then kind of skim the other one. Well, that's my opinion. And especially with Irish, I was like, thank God I had walked in with 40%, because I was like, oh Jesus, if I didn't, like, I'd have to actually learn the essay. So I just really I scraped that one too. But I did well with even start for someone who really I'm never really in school. Like, I was always racing all the time, so I couldn't really take school that seriously. Yeah. But I still got a decent leaving cert, and I'll always fall back on it. Like, it's not something I'm pretty ashamed of. I'm pretty I did nothing and I got that. I'm just saying.
And with your oral for Irish, did you go to the real thing at all, or did you just?
No. My teacher really told me to go down a pass. I didn't really care in Irish, to be honest. My class was just too full. From the school I'm in, it's pretty busy. Like, there's a lot of people in it, so you didn't get much time. You just got your essays and were told to learn it. And then I went to Yates College in Easter. That completely sorted me out. Oh my goodness. Like, if you go to Yates, or if you go to that Mill Street course, if you go to any of them courses, they actually nearly tell you what's coming up. And I will, amazing. They will give you essays and they will learn this, it will come up, and it will come up. I'm not even joking. I don't know much Irish. I'm not good at it. I'm also not good at speaking it, but they gave me something to learn off. I learned it, and now if they asked me something else, I would have been utterly screwed. But I was like, at least I have this going in, and it kind of gave me confidence, and it did come up, because these people are getting paid to know what they're talking about, because with these companies like Yates, they're trying to get the best for their students. Unlike community schools, they're just getting paid. They don't as much as they probably like their jobs, they're not getting the same amount of attention as Yates teachers are.
I think I was on the Yates because I couldn't remember what time my course is. I'm doing Irish and French for it, because I'm just language is always my weak point.
Understand completely.
But I actually went to learning the last 2 years, which really helped my spoken. My spoken's really, really improved. But I can't write for shit. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm going to give me things I can learn off.
No, they will. It's so good. They gave me this essay, and they gave me essays for the poetry, and that was really all I needed to learn. No, I needed to learn my play, which was on Trial, which I had absolutely no clue about. But my teacher did say that if I went in with my essay, and had got maybe 80% in my essay, and got at least 20%, 20 points out of 40 points. No, is it 20? Yeah, 20% out of 40% in my oral. I would have scraped to H6. And she was like, if you're just aiming to pass, you can do the essay and focus on your oral. She was like, but if you want to get higher and if you really care, then do this and that. And I was like, fine. But I just did my essay, I did my oral, and then I did a few bits on the side, and the few bits that I did learn did actually come up, and I was pretty lucky. But I'm just lucky. For the Leaving Cert in my Irish, I was expecting to be really unlucky. Everything I learned did not come up, but it came up. And a lot of people in my class were kind of I looked around and I was kind of oh my god, why is no one else writing? Apparently everyone else kind of flipped out. They didn't know what to write. But I was I went to Yates, they gave me this essay, I'm gonna write
it. I'm glad to hear that, because I know a few from our school are actually going doing it, because teachers are very, schools can be very mixed. You can get with some phenomenal teachers and some not so. So like and language is always my naturally weak point anyway. Like so. That's why I was hoping that it just kind of give me the cheat sheet. If I'm given something to learn off, I'll go learn it off, no bother, and I'll just puke it up in the day.
Honestly, it's the best thing ever. Yeah. Like I sold my Yates notes, and people were like begging me for them because they were like they realised how important they were. So,
good to know.
Yeah.
And then you're saying about grads. We actually had our grads.
Oh yeah, you have yours really early.
Well, like we're gonna have that there, and then we're also gonna go out and like so. What they did last year was they tried to organise the grads in like early, like kind of November, December. School shut down. But then in May they all went out drinking with the teachers that night. They all went graduation. They all had Keens. And then they had their debs then. But like we're gonna do the 3. So we've managed to pull it off. Cause like I organised the grads, like it was so difficult.
Honestly, so difficult to deal with. I completely understand.
People at hotels, because like the hotels were like, what is it again? A Debs? No, not a Debs. It's like only like before leaving. So like, why is it so early? I was like, and then they're like, no, we don't want you. And then, like,
they're really like afraid that you might break something. You're like, majority of my year is 17. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's a few, but
there's a few handful you have to look at. But like, if you don't want to deal with them, then don't invite them.
No, but not fairness, like thankfully our night went really smoothly, like as in like nothing got broken except a couple of glasses, which is fine. It was normal for a night out. Normal. Like a couple of glasses. Other than that, like everything went really smoothly, surprisingly. Like there was no kind of big massive thing that happened. So so everyone enjoyed themselves, and I think like our 2 halves of the year in leaving cert, you know, like the ones that did TY didn't do TY. Well, we never like, there's no real kind of like mix between them, as in like there's always been kind of a divide there, because like, you know, friend groups are made before you go into like 5th year, you know? So like, you know, there was never really much thing, but I think one thing that kind of came out of that night was like the whole kind of year mix, right, which was kind of nice.
It is, I suppose. I think we all, like my year only got close in the last month of leaving cert, because we were kind of like, we all kind of ended up sharing notes, and we all like started sharing bits and pieces that we already had, which was really nice. But other than that, we were all kind of fending for ourselves, being like, this is us. We're all, in fairness, we were all very selfish to a point where you could be. Like, you weren't rude about it. We were all kind of there for ourselves. So the last months, it was all like, oh, do you want this note? Oh, I'll give you flashcards. Kind of like that, and that was really nice. But other than that, we were kind of iffy. Like boys and girls didn't mix my year completely.
Oh really?
No, that's not a thing. Like, nah.
No way.
Yeah.
Ours would be pretty well mixed, and like there wouldn't be, especially nights out, but like even in school, like you'd see a fairly good mix within most. Not
like,
a lot.
oh my god, girls would hate you if you talk to a boy at lunchtime.
Really?
Like when I came back from my testing in Barcelona, oh my goodness. Like a few guys had heard about it, like it was on like the internet and stuff, and they saw that I came back from Barcelona, and they're like asking me loads of questions and stuff like that. But the girls were like, "Why are you talking to them?
What?
You can't talk to him. Why are you You're not going out with him? Then why are you talking to him?" No, but they're like, "Are you serious? Like the hell?"
Like what age are you? Like, maybe first year, like, you know, like that.
No, see, but I did go to a girls' national school, and we had a very big, like, kind of not a big influence, but there was a lot of us. We all dispersed into separate groups, and then our opinions of boys being afraid of boys kind of spread out. So like, everyone like hated boys.
I suppose because like I know a lot of our school. Most of us came from mixed primary school, so there was never that divide. What was that like going to all girls primary school?
It was awful. Like, I had never actually sat so close to a boy in my life. Like, I walked in, and in fairness, the girl who was sitting beside me went to my national school, lovely girl. And I sat beside her all year. But then we'd go into science, and we'd go to home ec, and we'd go to music, whatever. So we had to mix. But it was awful. I was so afraid of men. I got to second year and I was like, okay, boys aren't that bad, but God, people's opinions on men for all of like first year were just like, they're disgusting, don't touch them, they have germs. Like, that literally was it.
No way.
Because in my national school it was a nun school, so we were all kind of told stay away from men because we'll only get pregnant, kind of a thing. So like, it was kind of like, men, no, that was not a choice right now.
Jesus. I don't fully agree with the whole kind of the churches run the schools anyway. I don't think.
Oh no.
I don't understand.
I understand why we get holidays for like church, because that just gives me a holiday for myself, and I'm completely okay with that.
Yeah,
but other than the fact that like nuns are very well, in my secondary school they were all very controlling, isn't like you have to go to religion. Like there was no, you know, oh, I'll do my homework in religion. No, that's not a thing. You have to learn. Like,
oh no way.
Yeah, like a lot of schools, like I'll be talking to people and they're like, oh no, sure, we only had religion. Or like, religion was the worst day of my life. Like I would sit there and be like, oh Jesus Christ, like literally having to pray to him.
Because in our school it's a multi-denominational school, so like when we went to religion, it was kind of like, here's a little bit of Muslim, here's a little bit about Christianity. But like most of the time the teacher was like, do you want to do your homework? Do you have a little homework? Grant, we just chat. Like it wasn't nothing like that.
Yeah, no, especially like in Leaving Cert when you needed those classes. Like you needed like a free class to just be like, oh thank God. Yeah. Like I didn't do LCVP, and that was the best choice of my life, because at least I had a double during the week where I could either sleep, study, or just sit on my phone and listen to music. And it was like, it was the only break I really could have for Leaving Cert, because otherwise I would have just been like killed out studying all day, all night, and that was my only time where I could kind of like either talk to my friends in a classroom, or just go on my phone on Snapchat.
We stopped getting religion at junior cert. We don't get anything after that, because they're kind of like, they don't do anything during anyway. But do you have SPHE as well?
Yeah, we have SPHE and we have careers.
Yeah.
So.
And would you use like the DOS class as well? Cause like for us
SPHE, it kind of not really, like they had to like teach us what a condom was and contraception and stuff like that. And because like it is a nun school where they shouldn't actually teach us about contraception, because apparently it's a sin. I didn't know that up until last year. But yeah, like apparently it is, even though like that's ridiculous. But not my opinion. But yeah, they were all like, if we had to learn all about that stuff, and we had to like just herpes and gonorrhea, and have to learn all the symptoms, just awful. That was disgusting. But careers was actually quite interesting. We had to did loads of mock HPAT quizzes, which were like actually kind of interesting. They're kind of like, what would you do in this scenario? And they give you like loads of different scenarios that were kind of like, oh, I didn't actually think of that. That could actually happen. And what do I have to answer in order to be a doctor? Yeah. Like they give you the answers and you're like, oh really? That's not really like caring.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Because our careers last year consisted of us getting a presentation on like, this is what you do in this job, and this is what you do in that. Like completely useless. Like no, and we actually the only kind of thing maybe that was kind of useful was we did like mock job interviews, because like most people like they never really applied for job interviews. So, like we all took turns, like there was like a panel of 3 interviewing 1, and like we all kind of took turns, and like
that's embarrassing. I died.
Yeah, and like most people were like froze, and they were like, I have no idea what I do right now, but like you can't do that when you go into your interview. Like so that was kind of interesting. Like I don't know, people kind of shell up when they get like
have to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
I completely, like, did you not see me before we had to speak? I was like, I want to die.
Yeah, I was like, do you want a few more minutes before we start? But once you get into it, it's fine. Like, it's just a conversation.
No, like, Irish people especially, what I've noticed about being over in England and, like, racing and, like, the electric car people, they're just like, do you not know how to either accept a compliment or talk about yourself? Because anytime if they say, oh that was good, I'm like, oh Jesus, no, don't say that to me. I die of embarrassment for even accepting it. Like if someone ever says, oh you know what, you look nice in that dress, I'm like, oh no, it's cheap, don't worry about it, it's fine. No, don't say that to me.
It's just an Irish mentality. Or even like I know one thing we're talking about lately was when you walk in and someone's like, how are you keeping it? Grand.
Oh yeah.
There's
so it's like the whole world is falling around me, but like, oh no, it's fine. Just don't worry about it.
I know one time, literally, a person walked into, I was in the classroom, and they were like, after bawling their eyes out, and someone goes, how are you? And I'm like, oh grand, and just like sat down. I was like, you know, clearly you're not okay. But
it's an Irish thing where we like don't like to cause attention to ourselves. We're just like, if attention is drawn to us, we're just like, bye, like push it all in, just keep sweeping it under the mat, like.
Yeah, and like, then the whole kind of like one thing we really do in SPG, we don't do any of the sexual health or anything. We literally all do is like mental health. That's literally.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that though.
Which is good, but like we literally got one talk on like sexual health and like TY, and that's all we got. Like that's the
you kind of do need it. I'm sorry, but like the people who don't even know what things
are.
Like.
No, and I totally agree. But what we're like, I think I do like the fact that mental health is now being brought up, because like. Before, for years, you know, as in like mental health is not a thing. If you're not
if someone was upset, it was like, let them deal with it. It's their problem. Like it's it was stupid, but that's Irish people for you.
Yeah. Well, I think the conversation is starting, and I think it's going to be just the best for everyone to have it. Like I know teenagers, especially when mental health being brought up, they're like, oh god, this is being brought up again.
Yeah.
It is. Like
we're draining it out. We are draining it out, but it's helping.
Yeah, and I think it'll become a normal thing eventually. You know, like the analogy I really like is like, you know, if you break your arm, you see the cast, you're like, oh, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But like, mental health, you don't
see the problem there. You don't. Yeah, you can't read someone else's face or their emotions, which is really sick.
No, it's really, really weird. And like, I know I've never battled with anything, but I know so many people have like battled with depression, anxiety, like people really battling anxiety.
Wait until you get to Leaving Cert, like the month. Then you will. Then honestly, that question will completely change. Yeah. Honestly, like it's the month before. That's when you like start having panic attacks. I'm not even joking. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. Yeah. It's so stressful. Like it's just the fact that the teachers are like, so you haven't handed up your lab copy. So what you mean you haven't handed up that? And you're there like, oh god, my whole life is over. And then like it's stuff like that where teachers are just like very not helpful. They're just as stressed as you are, and then everyone else in the class is stressed. So it's just everyone just it's awful. Everyone's either crying or they just don't want to be in school, and your whole life will change the last one to Leaving Cert. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you now.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair warning to everyone listening. The last one to Leaving Cert is the fucking torture. I think we're wrapping up. We've gone just under an hour now. Right, thanks a million for doing it. Is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to like mention or anything? Or
maybe follow me on Instagram, guys. It's Aoife Melia, Aoife Melia, and just follow me, and then you can keep up to date with me. Yeah, I'll link it all down below anyway. I'll include all that. Thanks a million for doing this. You're so cute. Right, and right, we'll see you next month for the next podcast. Right, thank you for listening.